Right, it looks to be working. The shot. Let's just make sure. Okay, we are looking good. Some green lights here. All right. All right. All right. Let's just get the stream options and share this. We will be advanced. This one? Yeah. Let's just give this a try. You ready? You ready to do the live stream?
Let's do it.
Violet, are you ready to do the live stream? No, it's asleep over there.
Asleep AF.
Oh.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. Okay, let's
wake up.
Let's make the screen a little bit smaller. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna get started in just a little bit. I'm gonna have to make sure our followers on Twitter and Facebook know where we're gonna be at. Change of plans. Live stream now be on YouTube. And thank you guys for whoever's watching already. We'll be getting started here in a moment. All right. Post the link there. Facebook. Facebook broke my heart today.
Let us down.
Let me down. All right, let's go here. Oh, is this for internet? You are the man. I appreciate you. IT, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. All right. Let's make a quick post on Facebook, and we'll be ready to go.
Cool.
So, in the meantime, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yep. For those who don't know, I'm Jeff. I'm a character designer on WWE Champions. What that means is I am responsible for designing moves and trainer abilities, tag team links, gear boosts, basically everything along those lines. What I don't do is I don't design the actual artwork for the superstars or choose who's going to be released when, but anything that has to do with the mechanics of the moves and how the superstars work, that's what I do.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So, of the characters that you've designed so far, I mean, it's only been a few months, so it's not like you've been churning them out like, too many, but which one, okay, maybe no, that's unfair. Top 2 favorites and why?
I would say, actually, I had a lot of fun with the zombies. Those were sort of my first project that I got to work on. But I actually really liked both Eddie Guerrero and Razor Ramon because I like both of those, superstars in actual WWE, WWF.
Both of which were actually very high in demand too. Like a lot of the community posts, I did a few where, hey, which superstars are you most excited to see? And just observing a lot of different channels, whether it was Twitter, Reddit, or a few Discord channels that I might have seen. So that was really cool. There was a few times where I knew you were working on both these characters, and I couldn't really say, that we were planning to release them at the time. But yeah, sorry. What do you like most about those 2 characters?
Yeah, so obviously right now, the dominant strategy is, with very high level plays with guys like Seth Rollins or let's say Big Cass or Bray Wyatt or Finn Balor Striker, guys who do a lot of damage really, really quickly. And so one thing that I was trying to do with Eddie Guerrero specifically was come up with a submission move that charged very quickly that would allow you to counter those really fast charging moves, deplete your opponent's abilities, and then sort of go from there. And then after that, just working with the trap gem mechanics with Razor Ramon was a lot of fun. And then it just so happened that Bray Wyatt, who we released today, also happened to have some interesting trap gem mechanics.
Right. I was actually just going to get into that. So, well, thank you all for joining us. If you're just joining us now, I'm Eric Ippolito, community manager of WWE Champions. I'm sure you're familiar with Jeff, character designer on the game. We're going to just talk a little bit about what's going on right now in the game, what's coming up, and of course walk you through this stipulation. So this is just a test map, but we'll get back to that. Uh, Brand new mode, challenging new aspect of the game. We're really excited about it. But let's first continue talking about Bray. So whenever you create a superstar, we're always doing playtests in the game. We run a lot of simulations. We take a look at the characters. So there's a lot that goes into a character to make sure that he's not too OP, he's not too weak, but he's fun and challenging, and he works really well with a lot of the current guys that we have. So how will he utilize existing mechanics, some of the other trainers out there, and how will he add a little bit more to the game? So Bray Wyatt was really interesting too, because at first for me, I struggled to kind of understand how to use him. He has the trap gems, but trap gems are always a little bit varied, like what they actually do. What do they do when your opponent breaks the trap, and what do they do when you break the trap yourself? And so one of the guys on the team, like we were actually, I guess how we do it is we do the play test, and then you take a look at the move set, and you think, okay, well, here are probably the top 3 move sets that I would choose, and the trainers, and here's why. And there was one in particular build. I think we were using who were we using for? I think it was get more trap gems with
For Jinder.
Jinder, right?
Yeah.
So you ended up having like 9 trap gems, but that wasn't really the best one. The best one, the guy came up with an idea, and it's the one in the video that I posted yesterday where you're only choosing 3 trap gems, but you're using
Daniel Bryan, I think, right?
Yeah, to generate more purple gems.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so
he has a move that changes
green to purple.
Green to purple. That's right.
Yeah, and so you basically use the trap gem, select a few green or purples, and then we use the convert green to purple gems, and then that breaks the trap gems, and then those end up generating a whole ton of more purple gems on the board. And we were getting 80,000, 60,000. I mean, a lot of the total scores vary based on the cascades that you might get in the layout of the board, but we were getting some significant damage on him.
And so it's definitely more complex than your just straight choose 9 gems and destroy the whole board or whatever. But
it's kind of like a combination of like maybe a Finn Balor and a Seth Rollins in that regard.
Right, and it requires a little bit more thinking, and I think those were the sorts of things that I think made him interesting and fun to design, just because you had to think a little bit more about where you're going to place these things and not just straight destroy the entire board with a choose move.
Yeah. So let's chat a little bit before we go into the new mode. Just wanted to call out the fact that we have a new contest happening on the Facebook page. So we started it out earlier. It's this really cool thing that we're working with the WWE on, and basically it's a Survivor Series. Like in celebration of Survivor Series, we're taking some of the best showboats that play superstars, who are really awesome, really cool. We've got Macho Man, Ric Flair, guys who've got a lot of charisma, The Rock, and basically, you can win a whole lot of cash and coins in the game, and a whole bunch of really cool prizes, including a gift card to send you to your own SmackDown and Raw event. Whole bunch of really cool things. So to participate, all you have to do is create a really short video of yourself doing an impression of a superstar, upload it to YouTube, and then post it on the Facebook post. And we're super excited to see all the entries that we're going to have. I mean, we've noticed, especially when we launched the game, we did a few posts and players would send us their best, like Ric Flair woo or different things like that, and it was really fun. So it'd be really cool to see if people dress up, like how they change their environment to make it look pretty cool.
Dressing up is definitely encouraged, I think.
Highly encouraged. I mean, there's a point system, so it would definitely benefit. But anyway, that's going to be going on for a couple weeks, and it's going to be really cool. But anyway, let's start talking about the primary reason we're here. So Match Stipulations is just another way that we can change up the gem board to make it more exciting, more challenging, change it up. So examples of, and it's sky's the limit pretty much. So, we could make it to where a certain gem type doesn't actually appear Maybe you're taking an acrobat in there, and so that would be a great way. If there's like a type of gem that doesn't appear, you'll get more of the kind that you need. Or we can opposite. You can make it to where like all the blues show up, like extra blues or extra reds or things like that. Botch gems, any number of situation. Um, I mean, sky's the limit. You could have one where you have a whole bunch of loot gems appear. And so, what this really does too is every character has kind of like this crazy little move, and you don't really use it. Sometimes you might use it for to get a little extra damage. Something like turn botch gems into heal gems, or steal botch gems, or something like that. And you might think, oh well, my character doesn't really use botch gems, but if you go into this match, then this represents like another way for you to like use that and think on your toes. It's more strategic. But the one that we're really excited about is survival match. So you've gotten a chance to play it a little bit. So tell me your thoughts on like what are your first impressions on the survival mode?
Yeah, so survival mode is totally different than normal gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
What defines it is that you can't win by pinning your opponent. You can't, do a ton of damage and pin your opponent and just win because they can't kick out.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to win is to survive the number of turns that the match stipulates.
Right.
So if it's an 8-turn survival match, you have to survive eight turns.
Mm-hmm.
Your opponent can still pin you, and you can pin your opponent, but they'll kick out instantly, as you'll see in a minute.
Right.
So it really changes the way that you approach it, because suddenly the really offensive superstars are not as useful. You might still be able to find some build that works, but they're generally not going to be as useful as the more defensive superstars in this particular type of match. So the types of moves that might be more beneficial in this than in normal matches, definitely protect gems,
Mm-hmm.
some heal gems, maybe botch gems, those sorts of things. The ones that I've found to be successful have been protect gems, but I'm definitely excited to see what players come up with as sort of the best builds and what things work.
Yeah, and that's why this is so exciting too. Is I mean, we've just been playing the past couple of days, especially in the past couple of days. I mean, it's been longer than that, but you know, it's kind of up to the creativity of the live operations team to see what they'll come up with. But we actually have 2 survival mode matches in the limited time tour happening right now. I believe the first one's tomorrow. The final boss, will have a survival mode, and the day after that as well. Yeah, we're really excited to see how players really take this, like what kind of new setups they're gonna use to tackle these new challenges. Yeah, as Jeff was saying, this mode, especially survival mode, really caters to guys like Macho Man or maybe DDP, Enzo, of course, or Sami Zayn, guys who heal and protect. So we're gonna actually have Jeff go through a few matches. Go ahead. Why don't you start us off? We're gonna just show you. Let's do a match with Seth Rollins UF. So Seth Rollins UF is arguably the best character in the game. Very good. He's got a few. He's looking a lot different there.
Yeah. It's new gear.
Yeah, he has three moves that generate a whole ton of gems. Just super crazy. So we're using I believe what is his optimal build here. So he's got Daniel Bryan and Lawler for the extra MP. So why don't you get us started? So
yeah, you'll see a couple things different right off the bat. By the way,
yes, thank you.
And this is on a test server. By the way, we have maxed superstars just to sort of illustrate the sort of at the highest level of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not representative of what's going to be in the live game, but you'll see right off the bat there's some different sort of UI elements. There's just different appearance to how the pre-match looks.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see there are some special rules. So I tapped, if you can see at the very top of this screen, there's the little gems that have the plus icon next to it. If you tap that, it'll give you the special rules for the match. So this is a survival match. This one will last for 8 turns. You have to survive until the counter reaches 0.
Mm-hmm.
Your attacks and signature moves can't pin or submit the opponent, like we talked about before. And in this particular version of the survival match, not necessarily in all survival matches, but in this one, all of your moves are actually charged. If I remember right, is this the one where they're all charged right off the bat?
Yeah, so they charge faster, and right off the bat, you're going to be charged up, which is fine. The thing is, though, the caveat to that is that um, so AJ Styles uses the color turn gems, and he normally can get you for about 52,000 damage. I mean, we've done plenty of character showcases against him because he's such a powerful character. Um, but in a mode like this, he's going to deal significantly more damage if you let him have those color turn gems on the board when he pins you.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do that. So he could easily get up to 100,000.
And in this version, he actually starts with a lot of color turn gems on the board.
Right.
So you need to focus on clearing those out so that once he hits his finisher,
Exactly.
it doesn't absolutely wreck you.
Exactly. But, I don't know. We've got 8 turns. I mean, we're going to start off. You might as well, try and get rid of those. I mean, and it's still going to be a little while. I don't think we should panic right away because he really needs to get that finisher up before he can even utilize that.
And the interesting
but
thing here...
the more gems that fall down, he still will generate some more of those.
Yeah,
so
you'll
you have to be
see they still show up as the match goes on. You'll see here, I just pinned him with a move.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately kicks out. There's no damage. You can see his health bar. It just says turn 7. He doesn't actually have HP in this mode.
So you gotta survive 7 more turns.
Yeah. So you'll see we picked Seth to start off with just because he's such a strong offensive character. It doesn't necessarily translate as well in this mode.
I mean,
as it would in others.
But it just depends too. Like defensive is definitely better in this case. But each time you encounter one of these stipulations matches, you have to look at all the parameters. Like, okay, well, I'm fighting AJ. What does AJ do? What are the extra things? We're generating more color turn gems. That's a bad thing. Maybe you have a move that converts color turn gems to something that favors you, or you can also use a lot of props in this too.
Yeah,
it's a really cool way to utilize the props that you have. Maybe some of the ones that you wouldn't otherwise be doing. Now that is amazing. You probably dealt him like 100-something thousand. That was incredible.
And it was still useful, even though it didn't actually do damage since he doesn't have an HP bar. It was still useful because I cleared out a lot of the color turn gems.
Right, exactly. Also, a guy like Seth is pretty good at the fact that he can still, having those choose gems is still nice because you can choose, don't let him get those purples before he gets the blues, that sort of thing. At least you can get rid of some of them.
Right.
But after this, we'll showcase Macho Man. So Macho Man is kind of an underrated superstar at the moment because he's got protect gems. And I did a few matches earlier, and you just use a couple of those moves, and you'll be able to see how well that performs. Okay, let's see.
And the good thing here is that I was able to get rid of all of the color turn gems, so that by the time he hits the finisher, it's not going to be nearly as bad as it can be.
Right, and so this is just a test. So I'm seeing some comments mentioning about like how hard Seth is to get, and that's not really the point of this. The point is that that this mode isn't really catered to characters like Seth. It's quite the opposite. It's catered to more strategic elements that you're going to be able to deploy using your defensive superstars.
I think I'll still be able to kick out of this. And all right,
yeah, not bad.
Was able to get the win.
Not bad.
Probably not a 3-star.
The best. I think you did a pretty good job at least preventing him from pinning you. Earlier I got pinned about a couple of times, and there were some, there were some pins that were really difficult to get, but I actually did not do as well as you. I ended a lot lower on my health. But anyway, let's try Macho Man and see.
Cool.
So the way that I set Macho Man up is completely removed his finisher. Don't need it here. No point in using a finisher. Unless it gives you like health or something like that. So Macho Man's finisher basically does damage. I think it's also a bonus damage based on the submission gems. Not submission. Protect gems. But anyway, so what I have now is let's take a look at it. Thank you.
So the move that that Eric had picked up for this one. They're all pretty fast charging, and make random black into yellow. That'll help charge your yellow move here. That one makes random gems into protect gems. And then he has a red move that's very fast charging, 5
Mhm.
MP, that you get to choose gems to make into protect gems.
You know, that's actually super, like, actually, I didn't even notice that whenever I set it up that that move charges so fast.
Yeah.
So that would even be really, really beneficial for a mode that even, survival mode that didn't have, like, the fast MV charge. You'd still be able to get that in about a turn.
Yep. So we have two trainers. One that protect gems reduce the damage that you take by an additional 50%,
Mm-hmm.
and then another that moves that generate protect gems will create 4 more protect gems. So this is just to show you at the extreme example of how useful protect gems can be in this match.
Yeah, this is really cool. This the first time that I saw this, it pretty much blew me away. Like, just the, I guess I don't want to spoil it. We'll just
Yeah, I mean the goal is you definitely want to get protect gems up as quickly as possible. Since it's about surviving, you want to sort of get rid of as much damage from him
mhm.
as you can, especially with all these
So
color turn gems.
so let's hold on before we start using your moves. What's your strategy here? So knowing that we've got Callisto here, we can do a lot of defensive damage, or I should say defensive buffing. Um, and I don't think we need to use as many of these moves at a time. I think we could slow down and use kind of one at a time.
Okay.
Maybe. So let's maybe try using the choose one first. Get rid of those color turn gems, and then after some of those disappear, then we can use like a yellow turn, because it doesn't matter about how much damage we're dealing. It's all about getting rid of his gems and keeping as many protect gems on the board as we possibly can.
Yeah, so like Eric said, I definitely want to target his color turn gems at first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this. I'm actually not going to do that yet. I'm going to hold off on that for now. I'm going to destroy a couple other gems.
So the blue one generates, I think it turns black gems into yellow gems. Is that correct?
I think that's right.
Yeah. So look how much damage he did to us. 1 damage.
Yeah.
I mean, we could at that rate we could survive dozens of turns.
So I might even hold off on the other move for now and just. He did convert a couple to color turn gems there, so I have to be careful. If he gets the finisher charge, it's definitely going to hurt.
Yeah, and looks like he's still doing a little bit of damage to you on the move itself.
Right.
But any of the guys that you go up against who generate massive amount of gems, like, so if we went against Seth UF, for example, and he's generating dozens and dozens of gems total, we only really have to worry about his move damage, which is only 10,000 or so. It's not so bad in this case, because we got a maxed out guy. We got about 100,000 health, and a showboat to boot too, who has additional health than normal guys.
Yeah. So what I'm going to try to get as many protect gems back up right now, and then I'm going to try to charge his red move with this 4 match. I'm going to destroy one of my protect gem, but I also get to destroy one of his color turn gems, so kind of a wash. I did destroy some on the left side.
And got some blue MP too, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. So he'll have the finisher ready on the next move, so I got to be a little bit careful. He actually might get it charged here. So this could be interesting. If he gets the finisher off, I could be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. This could really hurt. Even with the protect gems up, this could be pretty devastating.
But let's count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he actually has quite a bit of color turn gems. So he might do considerable amount of damage to you.
Yep.
And he beats you
straight into danger.
Wow, that was really bad.
Yeah. So the finisher basically will ignore the protect gems. It's the protect gems are just helping with the gem damage, right? So that's the sort of danger, is if you leave the color turn gems up, then all of a sudden he has all of that bonus damage still. So you really have to focus on replacing those with protect gems and make sure. So in that case, I might have, if I do it again, I would do it with those moves. I would probably start right off the bat and actually throw all the protect gems out.
Let's give it another try. If you lose this time, I'm gonna take over.
Yeah, we might let my dog play. She's right here.
Yeah.
This is Violet.
Hey.
I'm not too happy. There she is.
Nap time for Violet. This is her favorite time whenever we do the videos. She just gets to sit on the couch and take a little snooze.
She might be better than I am.
So, question is, any plans to bring this available to Versus? So, we are considering some ways. So, off the bat, it will only be available in kind of the PVE limited time tour. But we'd love to get it in, maybe Blitz and maybe Faction Feud. We don't know. We'd have to really think about how that would work, if at all. Versus, I don't know. I can mention it. All right. So, what's the plan?
I'm actually going to use all the moves right off the bat.
I think a good strategy here might be just to let him get his purple moves and just try to prevent him from using that finisher.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get rid of as many of these color turn gems as possible, as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the random one first, because then I can choose the remaining ones. Hopefully the random will hit a few of the color turn gems, which looks like it did. And then I can use the choose one to choose the remaining ones to get them off the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that way, at least I get rid of the initial ones, and as the match goes on, he's going to generate more. And then, the other two of these I'll just sort of place in places that'll be hopefully hard to break. I'm doing this quickly, so don't mock me too hard. So yeah, there's my turn, and we'll match something to charge up the yellow move at least.
Yeah. I mean, in this weekend too, I'm really excited to see how players tackle this, because I mean, it's not like you and I have exhausted every mental strategy. I mean, that's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to players going after these modes and just tackling them. See how they handle it. See who they bring in. What's their move sets? What's their strategy? Are you using props? Which kind of props? We never really use props in these streams or videos, but we'd love to see kind of how players are tackling it and what kind of new strategies will come up.
That's one of the most fun things for me. Definitely is how many players there are out there who are trying this out, and how many really smart players there are who come up with really neat strategies that we only have a certain number of people here, but having thousands and thousands and thousands of people playing these matches and coming up. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. You go ahead. Just play the match for me. But anyway, having all of you come up with really interesting strategies is really fun for me. Here's where
I might have messed you up.
Yeah. I wish you wouldn't do that next time.
That's on me.
All right.
Well, I pinned you. That's saving grace there.
That's true.
At least you'll be able to get some of your moves off, or one of them at least.
That red, at least. Still gonna hurt though, because he's gonna get that other move and then the finisher.
Let me see if I can read some of these comments. Do submissions drain MP, or is broken instantly like a pin? I would say they're still the same. That submission moves do drain MP. Oh, I see. So no, opposite. So if you had put, that's an interesting thing. I hadn't thought about that. So what this player's asking is, if you were, so say you took a submission move guy in there, like Andre or Steve Austin or someone like that, and you submit submission gems on him, would he instantly break out? I would think that he would still have to go through the 3 or how many turns he's in the pin, and then he'd immediately get out. I don't know. It's not like he loses health, so we'll have to look into that, or let you try it out.
This is where I get destroyed from Eric's choices. I wasn't playing on you. It's easier that way.
Yeah, it's on me.
So it's not easy, but it's definitely interesting. It definitely requires some different thought.
All right, let's switch over to. Wow, those are the only 2 matches that you lost tonight. Like, you had Jeff playing it all night, and
it's also the only 2 that I listened to your advice or let you do moves for me. The other superstars that I think could be interesting for that mode are some of the zombie characters. Kevin Owens has a move that kicks out and recharges itself.
Right.
Having that ability to kick out and then charge the black moves again could be helpful. Obviously, if you get in danger, then you're not going to be able to kick out. But just being able to kick out of those massive pins could buy you some more time. Anybody who has a kick out move could definitely be useful.
All right, so let's try this one out. So, so this one's just completely prototype. It's There's really nothing about it. I'm not really going to try to win or anything. But let's give you an example of what a match could look like that's not survival mode, but maybe just maybe we're just throwing you a right curve. So in this one, we're going to get.
Oh, you're playing this one, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
You mind?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
All right. So you can color commentate my playing. So this one, so we're gonna get a lot more botch gems, and you're gonna see. So this is gonna be a little exaggerative, but this match is gonna have, when they say a lot of botch gems, it's gonna be a whole hell of a lot of botch gems, just because of the way one of our designers made it, just to be cruel to me. And then we're gonna get a lot of blue and green gems over time. So perfect for Seth, or any other guy who's got that layout. And so since we already have Seth's trainers all set up. This isn't the ideal character, so to speak. You might want to get someone who generates or steals bots gens, like Bret Hart, someone like that. But just to give you an idea, look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Oh wow!
So this is bananas. And right away, so actually, it'd be kind of cool if they mix the MP start with this botch, so at least you could start off, getting some. So it's really a race to see who can get rid of these botch gems, and get some MP really quick. Right. Let's see. So we're gonna convert some gems into purple. Wow, we really want to get rid of all these botch gems.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you'll do some damage, but ultimately, this early part, I think, is probably about clearing out the botch gems, because obviously the ones that stay botch gems that you break aren't going to do any damage. So
yeah, let's just see what this does.
Hopefully, it at least clears some.
Oh, I think I hit the wrong button up there.
Yeah, see, and that's gonna be really easy to kick out of. But obviously, one of the reasons that Seth is so strong is that those moves continue to charge, and they're and here we go.
All right, we're gonna turn a few of these into purple gems. That'll be nice. Maybe I could go for, let's see, there a green would actually. Let's go for this blue. Actually, here we go. Yeah, there we go. I'd like to think that I knew that cascade was going to happen. Yeah. It's always super nice when you can kind of like imagine in your head where like a certain gem's going to fall in, and it does.
It looked very clever.
Like the Rain Man of WWE champions. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I mean, and this is, like I said, this is just an example. I mean, these can be anything. This could be, loot boxes maybe. This could be any number of types of gems that we could make it to where you're getting more of a certain type or less of a certain type. And there you have it. Won the match.
Oh, why don't you try the other mode? See if you can knock out survival mode.
Okay, one more time, and then that'll be it. We'll finish up here. All right. So as we mentioned, this survival mode is going to be out tomorrow and the next day in the limited time tour. These regular gem modifier matches, those are not out yet. I mean, they can be out, but we'll have some new. I think maybe next week you can start expecting to see those. Don't quote me on that.
That was basically just meant to illustrate how crazy this can get. And I think the team that's creating these sorts of matches, they have a lot of latitude. It's a very flexible system, so they can create a lot of really interesting setups that changes the way the game is played. I mean, we won't get rid of the core game, obviously. Like, the core game will still play a huge part of the main game, but having this ability to make different types of matches will be really interesting.
Yeah, so I'm super low on battery. I forgot to bring one, so I either win.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess if the stream
it's like a
ends
survival
prematurely,
mode of your computer.
Yeah, you'll just trust me that I won this. All right, convert to protect gem. So I don't want you to have any of these. Actually, I'm going to use that one. So let's just get rid of all of these. You do not get these. I'm going to get two of these red ones and a blue one. That's pretty nice.
You have everything recharged. It's nice.
It's because I'm a pro.
Yeah, you are a pro. It's very good.
One day. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I got really excited there.
Slow your roll.
Yeah. I'm so anxious.
doesn't have the finisher yet though, so you have more time to clear this out. Pretty lucky first couple turns for you there.
Yeah. Well, as long as he doesn't have, I don't want him to get those. Let's try and get rid of some of these. Actually, what I'll do, so I'm just gonna place them all around here. That'll be nice. And then I'm gonna grab these. So he doesn't get the blues, and I get the reds. I'll be charged up in the next turn.
And against AJ, this is a very specific kind of match where, since he has the color turn gems, you want to get rid of those. That sort of forces you to go after those specifically. If it's a different superstar that's your opponent, let's say it's, I don't know, let's just say it's Finn Balor, Striker. It becomes a very different match. Like, you don't have color turn gems to go after necessarily. You really need to focus on placing your protect gems in intelligent places.
Like this?
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty smart.
Fire it up.
All right, so I'm just gonna do that, and it's not like I need to do any damage to him, so I'm free to get what I need, and what I need here is for him to not get any blue NP. So I'm down to turn 3, so I'm doing pretty good, and I'm doing really well on health too. 84,000 after that one. He'll get another 15,000 maybe on me here. That would not feel pretty good. 14,000. Okay, so
I didn't get the finisher yet. You got 2 turns.
Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well here.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're all right as long as he doesn't get that charge and fire it off.
I mean, and you can calculate these in your head too. Like, you can say, all right, well, how much strength are these really doing for me? Like, if knowing what he's able to deliver here and his gem power that how many of these do I really need? And players, we're really looking forward to them. Just you guys look at that and figure out how much you need. All right, yeah, I think we're gonna win it here.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah. See, that's what you should have done. You should have just did what I did.
Yeah. All right. Next time.
But no, we really appreciate you guys, and the feedback that we'll start getting. We're really looking forward to seeing what you think. The next few days, getting to try out different character setups, and let us know how you feel about it. Really need to play through, and it's not always going to be the same. Survival mode could be different, with the gems, any different things. So if there's something that you don't like about it, or something that was too challenging, maybe you can have some discussion among yourself on how you can better tackle that, or and we'll also be looking to see what players like and what they didn't. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
You and Violet.
Yep. Violet enjoyed it.
Nice. See you next time.